Hello, friends. It's Karen Cornell, your Creative Memories Advisor. So if you're seeing me right now, that means it's Wednesday and it's a project recipe time. Yay! I'm super excited. So sometimes I get asked, how do you pick your collections? How do you pick what paper? How do you pick which recipe to do each week? So I'll give you a little background. So I try to look at like collections I already have or some new collections. I try to figure out, am I going to be using it for an upcoming layout? Do I need that or an upcoming project? So this one today I was like, you know what? We are starting a new project in our home and we are finishing our basement, which means I'm getting a brand new craft room in our basement. And we are working on designing it right now and all that kind of stuff. So, and don't worry, I'll take you along for the journey, but that's a whole nother video topic and everything, because I could get off on a tangent right now and I'm not going to. So I was like, well, let me do that because I'm super excited about meeting with the designers this week, and they're coming to my home to really kind of see how I move around my room, and they've already measured punches and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, so I was like, let's do that because I'm going to scrapbook this whole, journey of finishing our basement. So I was like, well, that means the riveting collection. So I was like, let's look at the riveting collection. And then I was like, let's go through all the PRs that we haven't done yet. And so I landed on project recipe number 8. So that's how we got to this journey of picking the collection and the project recipe for this week. So let's get started. A few things that you're going to need is you're going to need a border punch or a border maker cartridge to punch 2 borders. You're also going to need the medium circle with the red blade and a custom cutting mat so you don't cut your paper or your board the wrong way, or your table. And then you're going to need your trimmer, of course. And then you'll need 2 pieces of designer paper or cardstock as your base, and then 3 pieces of designer paper or cardstock. I am using 2 pieces of designer paper and 1 piece of cardstock. And this is the, what's it called? Sunflower yellow. So this goes back to, how we all think, I don't need that color when they have those cardstock buffets. You're like, no, I don't need that. This is one of those that came through one of those buffets, and I was like, oh, well, it's a pretty yellow. I'll get it. Well, it's perfect for the tools in here. So like I said, I buy all the cardstock because you just never know what color you're going to need. And we don't know how. CM does everything 18 to 24 months out. So, you just never know what they're thinking. So let's get started. We are going to punch our border first, and let's think through our papers here. So these are my base papers. My border is going to be this. Then this is my designer 2, and this is my designer 3. Okay, I got it. So let's get started. And if you do not have this project recipe book, like I say every week, do not fret. I will walk you through every step and it's going to be fun. So let's get started. We're going to punch first. I almost did it wrong. So we're going to punch first. Let's move all these other papers out of the way. And remember, with these border punches, you could line it up with the lines right there in the front, and then you just slide it down and match it up here. And this is one of those that I call a twofer because I have all the inside pieces that are going to punch out, and I'll show you. It's really fun. So yes, I'm super excited about my new craft room. We have lived in our home for a little while, and so we didn't want to finish our basement right away because we wanted to see how we were going to use the space. And now that I host a lot of events at our home. We just decided it'd be best to go ahead and do it. Go ahead and start finishing the basement. So look at this. Isn't this so cute? Is that not adorable? I love this. So we're going to just slide these up. And I'm going to cut this at 1.5. Sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of a sinus stuff. Super cute. Then we're going to cut another one. Ooh, my paper was almost crooked. I almost made a big error. Somehow I got really close to the edge there on that hammer, and I'm going to see how it looks at the other end, because if I need to, I have room to cut another one. So if I don't like it, it's fine. It's just really close, but we'll see. We'll see when we're designing. And see, look at, isn't that adorable? I just love it. They're so fun. You're going to cut this at 1.5. Then we're going to cut 1/4 inches. So a 1/4 inch. Whew, boy, that's small, isn't it? So we've got a 1/4 inch, and that is going to be, so it's going to be right here on the edge of this gray. So we're going to cut there. It's kind of more, wait, hold on, let me measure. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right on the gray is the 1/4. And then another one right on the edge of your gray of your cutting strip. Then we're going to measure out 4.5, and we're going to cut straight down. Then we're going to turn it and cut at 3 3/4. And then another 3 3/4. And then one more at 3 3/4. And we have all these little ones in here. So H and I are 1/2 inch. So we're going to cut 1/2 inch is right by that I. So it's that first little line that goes all the way down. That's that line. So we're going to cut 2 of those. And then we're going to cut a 3/4 inch. So that's going to go all the way over here, straight down. So let's cut these other ones. Open your arm up, and you're going to cut these 3, the 1/2 inch ones are going to be 8 3/4. I know these are a lot of weird measurements, so if you need to pause this video, that is totally fine. That's the beauty of having these recorded, so that you can pause it and hear these strange increments on this one. This is another 8 3/4. This is the 1/2 inch piece. Make sure it's flush against the top there. 8 3/4. Then this 3/4 inch piece, this one is going to be cut at 6.5. All this will make sense later. Okay, now we're going to do And just pay attention if you do have directional paper, pay attention to that. I do not, so it's okay. So we're gonna cut this at 6.5 straight down. And then we're gonna cut it at 10.5. And save those 2 pieces. Then we're gonna do the circle in just a second on this, so hold tight on that. Then we're gonna cut, this is not directional, but pay attention if it is. We're gonna cut 4 strips that are 3/4 of an inch. So we're gonna go 3/4 of an inch. And I do like to have anything that's really kind of like 1.5. I like to have the bulk of my paper this way because I'm able to hold it better and it's not flopping down. But when I get to those larger increments, I go on the other side. So we're gonna do 4 of these. So here's 1. And we're cutting at 3/4 of an inch. 2. Couldn't get a grip of it. Silly paper. 3. So my craft room is going to have all custom shelving and cabinets so that it will fit everything I need beautifully. I can't wait. Then we're gonna have 5 inches. We're gonna cut 5 inches straight down. My trimmer is squeaky. Then we're gonna cut it at 10.25. Turn it and cut it at 10.25. And then we're gonna put this trimmer away for just a second and we're gonna cut our circle. So grab that second designer paper and you're going to take the medium circle and the red blade and you're gonna cut on the outside of this circle. So make sure you're far enough from the edges that you can get that circle. And I always like to just pull it up to make sure I cut it right before I pull up the custom cutting system, because then if it's not cut all the way, I can fix it easily. Now, you're not going to cut it in half, but I'll show you a quick trick. If you needed to cut this circle in half, the trick is you push it flush up against here and you will get cut perfectly in half. But we want to cut it about 1/3. So this circle is 5 3/4? I think, let's see, let's measure. Yeah, it's like 5 inches. So we don't want to cut it in half. So we're going to cut it like about, I'm going to do it about 2 inches because I don't want it to be too small. Or it's like 1 3/4. There we go. So I probably could have done a little more, but it's hard to tell. But it's okay. It'll be just fine. Because if I don't like it, I can always push this down a little bit and cut more off. So it'll be great. Because remember, there's no mistakes. We can always make it work. So get your base papers. And if any of you have put together the secret box, they had this perfect scrap paper that was textured yellow and like a goldenrod, and then this on the other gray on the other side. I so wanted to use this for my tools, and I still may because I love the texture on it. Okay, so here's my 2 pieces. And now we're going to just start assembling. So we've got our little third piece is going to go here and here. So I did this for the flooring of the basement. I thought that'd be cool. Make sure my saws aren't upside down. And then we're going to put this here. These little strips go here. Oh, this is coming together nicely. And this will be down here. And then we are going to put our big pieces here, like this, like this. This is going to overlap. This will go here. It gives the optical illusion, which I think is so cool. And then this is where those weird measurements came. This goes here, and these go here. So it gives that whole optical illusion. And just so you know, these aren't going to be flush up with my blue right here. There's going to be a little gap. And then this will go up here, which I might want to take a little bit more off, so that's easy to fix. And this will be down here. I wish I don't like that. I'm going to redo it. Let's redo. Let's grab another mat. And we're going to cut another circle. See, this is why we have two. So we're going to get our red blade and our circle. And I'm going to do it more. It says a third, but I'm going to do it more like a half because I don't like how it's turning out. So the beauty of having plenty of extra paper and extra custom cutting mats. Okay, so let's get our trimmer out. And I want it, so this is a half. So I'm just going to go a slightly bit over from a half. I think that's better. I think that's going to be better. And then you have room for, then we have our mats here. So we're going to have these mats here. And this one goes, it's falling off. And this goes off there. That'll be cool. And then over here, we are going to have, I'm going to use one of the mats, the variety mats here for 4x6, and then we have room for the pictures there because those are all photos. So let's start adhering. So yes, let's go talk about my craft room. So the space is basically the same like footprint of where I am in my current house, only down below, which it's helping me visualize in here. So that's good. And then, but I'm definitely, we're changing how things, the layout, a lot. And I'm gonna have a spot that's designated just for filming, because right now it's kind of crazy because when I film I have to move everything, and I don't know about you if you're a sit down scrapper or a stander, or if you do both. And I do both. So I stand sometimes and I sit sometimes. So when I'm having to film, I have to clear off everything that I've put in my standing area to film. So it's becoming a lot. So let's not have upside down tools. Sorry, I think I just hit the camera. I'm sorry. And then we're gonna put this down. Let's get my little mat. Here we go, because these are teeny tiny. And I will always post my final layout on my Facebook page and at the end of this video, so don't stress. That was a great suggestion. I love our community. They give great suggestions. As I'm putting these tools down and making sure they're the right way, I remember doing the On the Men collection, and I put the heartbeat upside down on one of them, and somebody told me that, and I was like, oh, I knew it looked funny. Not that I would know, because I'm not in the medical field at all, but I knew it looked funny, and I appreciated them. And then I also learned something, so I learned my one thing for the day. Then we put this down. And you could put another layer underneath this to make it pop, but I love how the silver tools are showing through. Then we're going to do this one. This is not hard. This is a nice, easy one to do once you get past all those tiny increments. That's the hard part, those tiny increments of those little strips. And it would not be a video if I didn't run out of tape runner. So, look how easy peasy we can change that. Love it. Now we're done with this, and we're gonna put this down. Let's move this out of the way. So if you have any suggestions for my craft room or anything, let me know, because I am super duper excited about the whole process, and it's gonna be great. Once I got past the whole like freak out moment, like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure out where everything's gonna go and how am I gonna do this? Oh, that looks cool. Okay, this could go here. And I like to just butt this up to it so that I can see it and make sure that I'm putting it in the right spot. Perfect. And then this is going to go in the center. I love how you have a design and it goes across the page. I think that's just so cool. But then your pictures don't have to stay within that little spot. Like, it's just, I just think it's really cool. A cool technique. And this is going to go here. Isn't that cool? Love it. I'm really glad I chose that yellow because it really is making those tools pop. See how that's sticking out a little bit? So I'm gonna tuck it in a little bit. Oh, super cool. Okay. And then these mats are going to go here. So if you're the type of person that likes your mats to be perfect, like fit your pictures perfectly, you may not want to do these mats yet. Although they kind of need to go in the middle. But they don't have to. You're right, they don't have to. So I'm going to have to scoot this one over a little bit. That's why we use repositionable. And then we're going to have this up here. I don't know, maybe I should put this one down here. And this one up here. I know that's not what they did, but I think I like that better. And then I will definitely be incorporating some of these little tools from the punch. And then I love these border stickers, but I don't think I'm going to use them in this layout. But I do have some really cute stickers that I want to add. So my final layout will be at the end, but you have lots of room for pictures. So this, I am using a card to kind of talk about journaling, about the process, and then you have room for, you could do a 3.5 by 5.5 here. And then since I'm using a 4x6 card there, I would probably use a 4x6 card up top here, or I can just trim this down a little bit, which would be easy to do. So I just have to trim a little bit off, and I could easily do that. So, but I think I have plenty of room. So I'm going to do the 4x6 because I think there's plenty of room. And then I would have, because you can do these pictures any way you want, but then I have this here, and then it goes like that. So I think that would be good. And then definitely a cluster of stuff down here and up here, maybe a title or something would be really cute up here. And then I think it's going to be really cute. So I could even do something up here with stickers and stuff. So you could go right here, like here. You could go here, here, and down here. You could do a little title here, just embellishments here and here. So lots of options, but I will have my final layout at the end of this video. But I hope you're excited about this project recipe. It was, once you got past those small little cuts, you're fine. It's easy. But I do like how the papers overlap and go across like the midline. That's what we used to call it when I taught, you know, folk dancing and music classes, going across the midline. But anyway, I love this layout. I hope you do too. And subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy scrapping.